Did you know there's one NBA legend from North Carolina who made $276 million, bought a 17,000 square foot mansion, but then watched injuries destroy everything? Another one earned just $12 million in his entire career, but won 3 championships and finals MVP. And as we go up this insane countdown of the 10 richest black NBA players from North Carolina, you'll see how our number 1 entry earned $94 million playing ball, then flipped that into $3.8 billion through sneakers and owning an NBA team he just sold for $3 billion profit. Let's dive in. Rashad McCants. Let's start with the guy who fumbled the bag so hard it's almost impressive. Rashad McCants came out of Asheville with a 2005 NCAA championship ring from UNC and got drafted 14th overall by Minnesota. His rookie season looked solid. 14 points per game, decent shooting splits, then everything collapsed faster than his jump shot mechanics. 4 NBA seasons. That's it. McCants earned maybe $7.5 to $8 million total before injuries and drama torched his career. Current net worth? Around $4 to $5 million, which sounds okay until you realize he should have made 10 times that if he'd just stayed healthy and kept his mouth shut. But McCants couldn't resist the tabloid spotlight, and things ultimately took a turn for the worse. In 2017, he claimed he secretly dated Khloe Kardashian in college. Khloe immediately denied it. Then, in 2018, he spread a completely false baby rumor involving her sister, apologized later, but the damage was done. His basketball career gave him headlines for maybe 2 years. His Kardashian drama gave him headlines for 5. As of now, he's living quietly in Asheville with a modest home, regular cars, zero luxury portfolio. No brand deals rescued him. No coaching gigs materialized. His biggest flex is that 2005 championship ring, which is tragic considering the talent he wasted. McCants is the perfect cautionary tale. Making the NBA doesn't mean staying rich. One bad injury, some messy personal choices, and suddenly you're the guy who could have been wealthy instead of the guy who actually is. So McCants made millions and lost his shot. But what about legends who dominated in eras when even MVP awards barely paid rent? Number 9. Bob McAdoo. Bob McAdoo was born in Greensboro, played 1 season at UNC, then went on to become a 5-time All-Star, 1975 NBA MVP, 3-time scoring champion, and 2-time Lakers champion. Hall of Famer. One of the greatest scoring centers ever. Averaged 22.1 points per game for his career, which is absurd for a big man. His net worth? Maybe $2 to $5 million? Yeah, seriously. McAdoo played in the 1970s and early 80s when NBA salaries were basically grocery store manager money with better health insurance. After the NBA stopped paying, he spent years playing in Italy because that's where the checks actually cleared. When he came back stateside, he worked as a Miami Heat assistant coach and won 3 more championships, but assistant coaches aren't getting rich either. McAdoo lives comfortably in Europe now, reportedly owns some Italian villas, enjoys the expatriate life. But compared to modern players signing $200 million contracts before proving anything, he got absolutely screwed by timing. He had some early struggles with substance abuse that he overcame, but otherwise kept his life relatively drama-free. In Greensboro, he's a legend. In terms of actual wealth, he's basically broke by NBA standards. McAdoo's story is a brutal reminder that you can be an MVP, a scoring champion, a Hall of Famer, and still retire without generational wealth because the league just didn't pay like that yet. Wrong era, wrong economics, same legendary talent wasted on poverty-level contracts. In short, McAdoo dominated the field but never saw real money. Just like our next guy, who won 3 championships in LA, earned finals MVP, and still barely cracked 8 figures total. Number 8. James Worthy. James Worthy, A.K. A big game James came out of Gastonia, led UNC to the 1982 national championship, got drafted 1st overall by the Lakers, and then became a Showtime legend. 3 NBA championships. Finals MVP in 1988 after dropping a 36-point triple-double in Game 7. 7-time All-Star, Hall of Famer, absolute icon. But his total career earnings? $11.85 million. $11 million across an entire Hall of Fame career. Worthy's current net worth sits around $8 to $10 million, which is embarrassing for someone of his legacy, but reflects the brutal economics of 1980s NBA contracts. After retirement, Worthy built a media career as a Lakers analyst and college broadcaster, which added some income, but didn't exactly create generational wealth. Worthy's lifestyle was always relatively low-key. He owned property in Pacific Palisades that he sold in the 90s, drove luxury cars, lived comfortably, but never ostentatiously. His one scandal was a 1991 arrest for solicitation and prostitution in Houston that resulted in probation and community service. Otherwise, his reputation stayed clean. UNC retired his number 42 jersey. The Lakers treat him like royalty. But financially, Worthy proves that even being finals MVP and winning 3 rings doesn't guarantee wealth if you played before max contracts existed. Modern role players sign contracts bigger than Worthy's entire career earnings. That's not a knock on him. That's just how brutally the timing worked against 80s legends who built the league but never got paid for it. Worthy won 3 rings and barely got rich. Now let's talk about a defensive genius who literally chose winning over money and still ended up comfortable. Number 7. Bobby Jones. Bobby Jones was born in Charlotte, played at UNC, then built a career as one of the greatest defensive specialists in basketball history. 9 NBA All-Defensive teams. 1983 NBA champion with the 76ers. 6th Man of the Year. Nicknamed the Secretary of Defense because he locked people down so efficiently it felt bureaucratic. Net worth? Around $5 to $10 million, tops. Here's the thing about Bobby Jones. He famously turned down bigger contracts overseas just to stay with winning teams. He prioritized championships and team culture over maximizing dollars, which is noble but doesn't exactly build generational wealth. After retiring, he worked as a Charlotte broadcaster and UNC executive. Solid gigs, but not exactly printing money. Jones lives simply in Charlotte with 0 scandals on his record. He's remembered as one of the cleanest, most professional players ever. His real legacy is philanthropy. He co-founded the I Have a Dream Foundation for inner-city youth in the 1980s, using his platform for good rather than accumulating Lamborghinis. UNC retired his number 1 jersey. In North Carolina basketball circles, Jones is royalty. But his bank account? Decidedly middle-class by NBA standards. Jones represents an era when players valued winning and community over cash, which is admirable but also means you retire without the kind of wealth modern athletes take for granted. Jones chose values over wealth and ended up comfortable. But what about a Kinston legend who made $84 million, invested smart, and built a $40 million empire? Number 6. Jerry Stackhouse. Jerry Stackhouse grew up in Kinston, became a national prep sensation, led UNC to a Final Four as ACC Player of the Year, then got drafted 3rd overall in 1995. Over 18 NBA seasons, he averaged nearly 17 points per game, made 2 All-Star teams, and earned a reputation as a bucket getter who could score from anywhere. Stackhouse pulled $84 million in NBA salary across his career and turned that into a current net worth around $40 million. Not billionaire territory, but solidly wealthy by any reasonable standard. After retiring, Stackhouse pivoted into broadcasting, NBA TV, TNT analyst work, then transitioned into coaching, eventually landing at Vanderbilt, where he won SEC Coach of the Year in 2023. He also invested in a family transport business called Share My Coach, diversifying income beyond just basketball checks. Stackhouse lives quietly in North Carolina, owns property in Kinston, drives high-end SUVs without making a spectacle of it. No scandals, no drama, just steady professional success and smart financial management. His $40 million net worth puts him comfortably in the middle of this list. Not poor, not obscenely rich, just the result of solid earnings, smart investments, and multiple income streams. He's proof that you don't need supermax contracts or billion-dollar endorsements to retire wealthy if you manage money intelligently and build second careers that sustain income. Stackhouse represents the boring but effective wealth-building path. Earn well, invest wisely, transition smoothly, stay out of trouble. It's not sexy, but it works. He built $40 million the smart way. But our next player? He made $276 million, bought a 17,000 square foot mansion, then watched injuries nearly destroy everything. Number 5. John Wall. John Wall came out of Raleigh as the most electrifying high school player North Carolina had seen in years, dominated Kentucky for one season, then got drafted first overall by Washington in 2010. At his peak, Wall was unstoppable. Lightning speed, elite court vision, 5 All-Star selections, averaging 19.3 points and 9.2 assists per game. Add in a long-term Adidas shoe deal worth $173 million. Total career earnings? Roughly $276 million in NBA salary alone. Add in a long-term Adidas shoe deal worth tens of millions, and Wall's net worth sits somewhere between $110 and $160 million depending on who you ask. For $4.9 million, 10 bathrooms, home for $4.9 million, 10 bathrooms, home theater, the works. He collected Ferraris, rocked diamond Rolexes, lived like a superstar. Then injuries destroyed everything. Achilles surgery, knee issues. Wall barely played from 2019 to 2022, watching his prime years evaporate while still collecting massive checks. In 2022 to 23, he was the NBA's second highest earner at $44.3 million, despite contributing almost nothing, which created awkward headlines. Off-court drama didn't help. Wall was sued in 2018 over a nightclub altercation and settled confidentially. During the 2020 bubble, he posted a meme about loosening pandemic restrictions that aged terribly, forcing an apology. Wall's still technically active with the Clippers, but focuses more on broadcasting and investing now. His story is proof that even $276 million in earnings doesn't guarantee sustained success when injuries derail your peak and controversies chip away at your brand. He's rich, sure, but he should be way richer. And now, we're entering the top 4 category where you'll find out how Black NBA legends from North Carolina actually multiplied their fortunes. Number 4. Chris Paul. Chris Paul was born in Winston-Salem, became Wake Forest's star point guard, got drafted 4th overall in 2005, then spent 20 years proving he's one of the greatest floor generals ever. 12 All-Star selections, 10 All-NBA teams. Led the league in assists 5 times. 2 Olympic gold medals. Career averages around 17.5 points and 9.4 assists. CP3 is a legend, period. An early Jordan Brand athlete, pulling an estimated $50 million plus in royalties over time. Add State Farm, La Quinta, Panini campaigns, plus startup investments and a $2.5 million donation to Wake Forest, and Paul's wealth portfolio is stacked. Paul's lifestyle screams money. He dropped about $6.5 million on a Houston mansion, 9 bedrooms, resort-style pool, home theater, wine cellar, the whole flex. He owns a $6.5 million Phoenix estate with a home gym and spa. Previously owned a $4 to $5 million Bel Air property he later sold. His car collection includes Mercedes-AMG G-Wagons and Rolls-Royces. He owns or charters private jets for family travel because commercial flights are for peasants, apparently. But Paul's got some edge. He's been involved in multiple on-court incidents. A 2009 brawl in Minnesota, a 2019 incident where he shoved a referee and got suspended, plus countless trash-talking fines. His competitive fire occasionally crosses into maybe chill-out territory, but it's never hurt his brand long-term. Paul and wife Jada run the CP3 Foundation supporting youth education. His combination of elite earnings, smart endorsements, luxury lifestyle, and strategic philanthropy positions him firmly in the upper tier of wealthy NC players. He's not billionaire status, but $180 million, and private jets ain't exactly struggling. CP3 made $420 million and lives accordingly. But what about Charlotte's hometown hero who changed basketball forever and built a $250 million empire through shooting threes? Number 3. Stephen Curry. Stephen Curry was born in Charlotte in 1988, stayed local at Davidson College where he dropped 3,000-plus points, then got drafted by Golden State in 2009 and proceeded to rewrite basketball history. 4 NBA championships. 2 MVPs, including the first ever unanimous award. All-time leader in three-pointers made with 3,747 and counting. Curry didn't just succeed, he fundamentally changed how the game is played. His net worth sits around $160 to $250 million, powered by a $59 million salary in 2025 plus absolutely ridiculous endorsements. Forbes ranked him the second highest paid athlete in 2025, $56 million salary, $100 million in endorsements. His lifetime Under Armour shoe deal alone reportedly exceeds $200 million. Add State Farm, Chase, and Kia deals, and Curry's income streams are generational. Curry and wife Aisha live like royalty. They bought a $31.2 million Atherton, California mansion in 2019, one of the priciest NBA homes ever, featuring 7,500 square feet, infinity pool, private cinema. They sold it later for profit because apparently flipping $30 million homes is just casual Tuesday for them. They also own a $10 million North Carolina vacation property and a car fleet including a Tesla Plaid, Porsche 911, and rumored Bugatti Chiron. Family trips involve Gulfstream jets because, again, commercial is for mortals. Curry's public image is squeaky clean. No scandals, just occasional trash talk fines and debates over finals MVP snubs that didn't go his way. He's built his brand on being the wholesome family-first superstar. He and Aisha founded the Eat, Learn, Play Foundation, pledging over $25 million in grants and delivering millions of free meals and books in Charlotte and beyond. Curry represents the modern athlete wealth blueprint. Elite performance plus massive endorsements plus smart tech investments equals generational fortune. His $250 million is just the start. His Under Armour deal and tech portfolio could legitimately push him toward billionaire status post-retirement. Charlotte's golden child is cashing checks most people can't even conceptualize. So, Curry built a $250 million empire through shooting and branding. But what about the youngest star on this list who signed $197 million before legally drinking and immediately went shopping? Number 2. Zion Williamson. Zion Williamson was born in Salisbury, dominated every level of basketball, spent one legendary year at Duke breaking rims and the internet simultaneously, then got drafted first overall by New Orleans in 2019. At 6 feet 6 inches and 284 pounds of pure muscle, Zion's athleticism is genuinely freakish. He won Rookie of the Year in 2020, and despite being barely into his career, he's already absurdly wealthy. His rookie contract paid roughly $45 million over 4 years. Then in 2022, before turning 23, he signed a 5-year Supermax extension worth $197 million through 2027. Current net worth estimates range conservatively from $18 to $46 million, but that number's climbing fast. Zion's endorsement game is elite. Nike's Jordan brand signed him to a reported $75 million shoe deal, beating out Adidas in a bidding war. He's also got deals with Mountain Dew, Gatorade, NBA, 2K, and Fanatics stacking millions annually on top of his NBA money. A $950,000 modern mansion in North, a $950,000 modern mansion in North Carolina, complete with a backyard basketball court because why wouldn't you? But Zion's career has serious drama. Injuries, knee surgeries, foot problems have kept him off the court for massive chunks of 2021 to 23, raising legitimate questions about durability. In 2023, he faced a paternity lawsuit that settled privately for a reported $2.7 million, briefly making tabloid headlines. He and teammate Brandon Ingram were also suspended for on-court altercations, adding unnecessary drama. Still, Zion remains massively popular. His highlights rack up millions of views, He's engaged in charity work, pledging Smoothie King employees' salaries during COVID shutdowns, joining charity events with Obama. If he stays healthy, Zion could legitimately become the richest player from North Carolina, not named Michael Jordan. Right now, he's the wealthiest second-generation NC star, living proof that modern NBA money is absolutely insane compared to previous eras. He's 25 years old and already worth $40+ million. That's the new normal. But while Zion made $197 million before turning 25, our number one didn't just play basketball. He turned $94 million in salary into a $3.8 billion empire that literally changed global sports culture forever. We're talking about none other than Michael Jordan. Number 1. Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was raised in Wilmington, dominated at UNC Chapel Hill, then became the most iconic athlete in human history. 6 NBA championships with the Bulls, 5 MVPs, 10 scoring titles, 14 All-Star selections, career average of 30.1 points per game. The greatest scorer ever, the greatest competitor ever, the greatest winner ever. Period. But here's the absolutely wild part. Jordan earned only about $94 million in NBA salary across his entire playing career. $94 million. Modern role players make more than that on their third contract. Jordan's real wealth came after basketball. Forbes estimates his current net worth at $3.8 billion, with a B, as of 2025. Here's how he did it. $2.4 billion from Nike and Jordan brand royalties. In 2014, he bought majority ownership of the Charlotte Hornets for $275 million. In 2023, he sold that stake for approximately $3 billion. That's a $2.7 billion profit on one investment. Absolutely absurd. Jordan also co-owns NASCAR's 23XI racing team, built a high-end golf course in Illinois, and owns a Highland Park mansion that once measured 65,000 square feet. His luxury lifestyle is legendary. Gulfstream jets, Ferraris, Rolls-Royces, a $14 million yacht. He lives like the billionaire he is. Jordan also gives back through the Jordan Brand Wings Foundation, providing scholarships and community grants for underserved youth, though his philanthropy sometimes gets overshadowed by his wealth flexes. Jordan's had controversies. A 1993 gambling debt probe that the NBA eventually cleared. A 2006 divorce from first wife Juanita that drew tabloid speculation about infidelity, though Jordan stays mostly private. But none of it ever dented his fortune or fame. Jordan didn't just dominate basketball, he invented modern athlete entrepreneurship. He proved the real money isn't in playing, it's in ownership, branding, and equity. Air Jordans sparked global sneaker culture. His Hornets sale created generational wealth. He became the first billionaire athlete and built an empire that will outlast him by centuries. Every player on this list, every player in the NBA, is chasing the blueprint Jordan created. He's not just the richest player from North Carolina. He's the richest example of what happens when athletic dominance meets business genius and perfect timing. $3.8 billion. From Wilmington, unmatched. And these were 10 North Carolina players whose wealth ranges from comfortable retirement to literally billions of dollars. From cautionary tales who fumbled the bag to legends who turned basketball into generational empires. These stories prove getting to the NBA is hard, but building lasting wealth is a completely different game. If this shifted how you see athlete money, smash that like button and subscribe to Black Status for more interesting peeks into the lives of Black celebrities. Also, don't forget to drop a comment on which player's fortune shocked you most. And share this with someone who thinks making the NBA automatically equals staying rich, because we just proved that's absolutely not how it works. Catch you in the next video.